Hi, everybody, and hi, my greatest, most precious cosmic sister and soul sister, Corinne Mooney, all the way from Arizona, and myself, Anne, from Sweden. Cold. We had -8 this morning.
Oh,
Unbelievable. Yes, it was a shock. Yeah, it was a shock. Ice outside, not so much snow, but ice and cold.
wow.
Wow. So, welcome to the Cosmic Sis-Stars Show with, again, Karine and myself, Anne. And tonight, today, we invite you to step beyond the five senses and into the realm of intuitive knowledge, knowing. This is a sacred space where we explore the subtle energies that guide us, the whispers of spirit, and the deep wisdom that lives within. Whether you're just beginning to sense your psychic gifts or have long walked the path of spiritual awareness, this journey is definitely for you. Together, we will uncover the layers of sensitivity that connects us to truth, healing, and divine insight. So let your heart be open, your spirit curious, and your soul ready to awaken. Today we have Wednesday, November 19th in the US and Europe, and Thursday, November 20th in our future in Australia. Always joking with them, right? Down
Yes.
under, but ahead. And I'm just going to say a little bit of honor to my great grandmother because today is her birthday, and she
Yes.
was born 1896, 19th of November. That's beautiful.
And we
Um,
we we thank her for being part of your creation.
Yes, I thank you too. And we are going to talk about awakening the sixth sense, a journey into psychic sensitivity. You can find upcoming and past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past and youtube.com/at angelplaceonearth/streams. And you find all our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series dash cosmic dash guardians. And we just recently finished up um, 12 insights plus a summary from the Celestial Prophecy. And we have done the four agreements as well. And we are planning on reviewing them with you sometime next year and adding the fifth agreement and
Yeah.
some other things that come along with that part. So stay tuned so you don't miss that, right?
Hmm.
Our last show here on Cosmic Sisters was last Wednesday, November 12th, and we talked about breaking patterns, no more repeat. And again, I'm going to say if you missed any kind of episode or want to check out what we have been doing, and by this time, this present moment, we have done quite a few episodes. I think it's 66 or something.
Hmm.
You can go to angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past. And of course, if you want to connect with us personally, connect with Karine, connect with me, find read articles, find other information, you are welcome to visit angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. And of course, you find Corrine directly at liquid with a Q, liquidenergyhealing.com.
Hmm.
And I think that we are ready to dive in. Are you ready,
I
precious?
am. I am. I was trying to use my sixth sense to bring everything that I needed to come to me, and shifting around here, and I did. It came.
It came, right?
Yes.
That's good.
This is amazing because people look at the human being as just being skin and bones. And we've been taught that we're just this this physical machine that is created to just kind of go from point A to point B. And I personally think that we have been deprived of the realization that we are more than this physical body. And that 89% that science says is junk is really who we are. And our ability to see the world beyond this world, that's what makes us unique. And
Yeah.
even our ancestors knew that they needed to depend on that innate ability that they were given to be able to handle what was going on. But then as we got more and more advanced, it was taken from us. And the great seers understood that that potential was sacred, and they started saving it and putting it in the pyramids and putting it in the temples in South America and making the emerald tablets, saving that unique knowledge that we were a greater potential. And
Exactly. And there's a point, if you think about, just go back to the Middle Ages when people who shown off their senses, they were called witches or
absolutely.
magicians, and they were burned
Yes.
alive. That's
Yes.
horrible. But that's also a sign that they were coming on to something very, very strong, right? Something,
Absolutely.
if something gets forbidden, um, it is like, sorry, I lost it.
So
It's like when you are challenging some kind of system or something. I go very deep now, right?
yes. Yes. And the tragedy is that I like to refer back to, and I think this is a good time to do it. Um, when Rockefeller and all of his money in the late early 1900s, he realized that humans potentially were workers. And he is the one that actually, and this is documented. Anybody can go and look up this information. I'm not just reaching, you know, for information here. He wrote out how to create schools. And in the first phrase, he said, I do not want to create intelligent people. I want to create workers. So the school system was deliberately kept at a level so people would not aspire to doing other things. And as you said, each time someone came in that went beyond the bounds, they were systematically defunct, ridiculed, or eliminated.
Yeah.
And because we are so much more than just the shell that we walk around in. And
Yeah.
I am so grateful that as we are moving into a higher frequency and we are shifting, people are becoming aware. They're being subtly guided, a synchronicity here, a thought there, an inspiration from someone. And all of a sudden they're going, there is more, so much
There
more.
is more.
And how do
There
we
is
tap
more.
into it? Yes,
Exactly. But the system is made to make us
conform.
reach a certain point, perform, yes. And if we step outside of that, so now if we compare the Middle Ages with today, of course, we have more freedom. We can talk about it, right? But there are
Yes,
still certain things you can talk about because you're going to be banned, right?
exactly. And Roosevelt, I mean Rockefeller, also had control over the medical. and he created medical schools. And up until that time, all of the wisdom keepers, the ones that knew how to use the herbs, the ones that had to do this, he couldn't profit from that. So he banned that, and he made it illegal for you to be doing homeopathic type of things, and created the schools where they actually took out all of that information systematically. And and this is, I think, one of the awakenings that is happening. And our sixth sense is now really coming to the surface and saying, I'm here to assist you. I'm
Yeah.
here to show you the brilliance of where your potential lies. Let me be of service. And I'm sorry, I got goosebumps. it was, it
But
was,
you know, there comes a moment in every soul's unfolding when the veil thins.
yes,
Not with drama, but with grace. Not with noise, but with a whisper. It is the moment the sixth sense stirs from slumber and begins to speak in the language of energy, intuition, and remembrance.
exactly.
Because our core within here knows that we are more, but we have suppressed that because we're not supposed to think. It's woo woo, or it's you are a nutcase if you
Yes,
trust your instinct and your senses and claim you can get visions and see things still, even if we are free to talk about it, right?
exactly. And I did not realize until we started doing this podcast how absolutely in awe I am of little children. And no wonder that some of the greatest writers have said, be like a child, not childish, but childlike, because we are born in our purest form. And as children, we see things and hear things that we're in this world of wonder. And then we have some adult come along and say, that's your imaginary friend. Stop doing that. That makes you look weird. And so we learn how to survive in the world that we now live in. But as we develop these senses, they're not only going to take you to a greater understanding of yourself, but eventually, as you feel the energies, you'll understand what they mean. As you feel a vibration around you, you just come alive, like I am right now. I mean, every cell in my body is like recharging because I am allowing to be connected. But you will
And
find that. Go ahead.
we also have been taught that psychic sensitivity is just for a few, right? So
Yes,
you are someone very, very special if you have that. But no, it's not reserved for mystics or seers or priests or whatever you would say, right? It's a natural extension of our being.
it
That's
is.
it.
It is, and I love it that people like Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza and all of these scientific people are now saying this is the reality, that potential that we have, that we think lies beyond us, is really us. And finding that quietness within, and cutting out the chaos and tapping into that. And can you imagine being able to hear or smell color? And you do it, you're just not aware of it because you smell something and you think of red. You know, that apple, you can smell the apple, but you think of red. Or you hear something and it moves you to a higher place. And smell is one of our greatest gifts. And you're walking along and you go, oh, that smells like it did when I was, having hot chocolate and cookies with my grandmother. it transports you into a place that is beyond your thinking. And the beauty is that we get in the rhythm of Gaia and we feel the heartbeat of the universe.
Yes, we do. We have someone here actually. It took me a little bit of a time for maybe they are not here anymore. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, well, they very recently wrote something. So,
Yes.
um, where in the world are McSharing Bros? I don't know what that is.
No, I
No.
don't either, but welcome. And,
Yeah, very welcome. Um, and this person said, I can't really see their name. They said, hello, I love podcasts. Thank you. And we are very open too. We are not Christians. I think we're not, but we are very, very spiritual, deeply spiritual. But that's we are open for everybody.
yes.
Um, so not closing the door to anything, and everybody has the right to believe what they do. We are, of course, talking from our perception and our point of view and
I,
our personal experiences. Yes, go
yes.
ahead, please.
And I believe that a lot of times religions uh, are formed from a spirituality, and that's their way of understanding it. But we are spirit. We all are divinely created, and we are all spirit, and we come from that place. We're just very connected to it, and enjoy having that sixth sense, uh, and allowing it to be of assistance to us. And when we get into all of our clairvoyance and all, how did you call them, the claris?
Okay. Yes,
Yes.
we have
Yes.
someone else here today. Hippie Gypsy. Hi,
Hi,
sister.
how are you?
Hi.
Welcome.
Yeah, very welcome. And yeah, we have the Claires actually. And do you want us to start talking about the Claires?
I can. um, I've kind of learned to really appreciate them. um, they started I became aware of them when I started working with energy and working with people. And a lot of times when I'm talking, and you'll see me even on camera where I pause, and I'm going, okay, I am actually having conversations with wisdom, and I am allowing that sixth sense to be my guide rather just blurting out whatever I may think to say. I pause and I wait, and I have this inner knowing, and it's a type of telepathic communication. No, I don't have people around me talking to me, but I can sense what my soul is trying to say. And
Yeah.
when I see things, I have images of emotions. And that way, when I'm helping somebody, I can not only hear what they're saying, but I feel and see what they're, not necessarily a play that is running out, but it is internal. It's not something I see with my eyes. And it's it has helped me so many times to be able to be of service to others. And there's so many more. I'm going to let you go along with that.
Okay. Yeah, talking about the Claires, and I can express just like you do how it works for me. Um, I started off when I was a tiny child. I don't remember my age, maybe 4 or 5. And I saw a lady sleeping in our couch, and I was so scared. So I ran into the bedroom, locked the door, and my mom was inside the bedroom with me. And she didn't wake up for a couple of hours. And I said to her, Mom, there's someone sleeping in our couch. She said, there's no one there.
Yes.
But it wasn't anything nasty or anything. But that's the first memory, conscious memory I have. And of course,
Yes.
as infants, we do see more frequently. We do experience these things. And today, how it works for me is like I can see visions. It's coming in here. I can
Yes.
describe something. Sometimes they will show me a part of something, like a half body or a half face, or but usually they do that because they want me to pay attention to detail that's sticking out, right?
Hmm.
Or they show me a written word or a written sentence as a
Yes.
picture. That's also funny. It's
Yeah.
not like they say it. It's written like a picture. Um, and picking up things, sensing things. Um, when we are also in the flow of our psychic senses, it means, and that's why I very often look ahead because I don't want to distract my eyes. I just what's coming to me, right?
Exactly.
And we just say it, and it's coming. It's like when you do automatic writing, it's not someone coming staring the pen for you,
Yeah.
it's the flow,
It's
and you just
allowing.
type. Yeah, it's what you get that you say. And yes, I work on a psychic line, phone line, and yes, I talk with a lot of people, but I also use tools. But when you use cards or pendulums or whatever else one can use, right? They're only tools. Like if you are a magician, you play the guitar or the piano.
That's
It's the
right.
same thing. It's not going to give you the whole thing. The whole thing comes through you
Yes.
and is given out. And many times, and this is funny for me, they have a lot of sense of right, wonderful humor on the other side.
Oh, yes.
Uh, so they give me old-fashioned language and words.
Exactly.
Sometimes words I never ever used in my entire life, but it
It,
comes through.
that's true. And everybody has experienced this. They just don't acknowledge, maybe. For instance, you walk into a room and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up and you just don't feel right. And when you start learning to trust these things, you go, okay, maybe this isn't where I need to be at this time. Or you're driving along and you find that where you normally go, you're not going that way. And something has just nudged you to turn here instead of going there. And we have these gifts. They are given to us to help move us through this journey called life.
Yeah,
And when we go, oh, well, that was interesting, or I'll remember that, then we allow ourselves to become more involved in our own direction instead of becoming robotic. And all of these senses that we have, I know how they have guided me, especially in my writing, because when I sit down, I I am saying, what what is it that the world needs to hear? Not
yeah,
what I need to tell them or my opinions or my ideas. And the pen moves, and 3 or 4 pages will be written. And when this first started, many years ago, um, I was carrying anytime I found a bit of paper, and then I learned to start carrying a tablet with me because when it happens, you need to write it down. And I have bits of paper all over the place of a little idea. I've gone into the doctor's office and said, "Give me a piece of paper, quick," you know, and written something down. And I think that because I am, let me see. I'm talking with what word to give here. I don't have an Karine Mooney's agenda.
Yeah.
I am allowing what needs to be put on the paper and without judgment. And I think that's why I have been able to be receptive to these things because I don't have, well, you know, I'm not going to do that because you're asking me to, and everything else. I'm more, I allow it. I love that
Yes,
word.
you allow it. And um there's a lot of terminology around the clairs, right?
Yes.
So we can go through them. I know that you have probably a few more, but I put up the
Those are great. You go to them.
the yes, I go to them, and then we can grab those I didn't get from you, right? So
Right.
each clair is a doorway. Each one opens a unique channel of divine communication because we can communicate with the divine. We don't need anyone else, but we need to learn how because that's something we haven't been taught from childhood, right? And together, all of these clairs, not only the ones I'm going to let you know now, they form a multidimensional map of inner knowing. And this is also, all these clairs are part of our oneness and the connection we have with each other as well, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, first of all, we have clairvoyance. That means clear seeing. This is the vision of the soul, the ability to receive images, symbols, and energetic impressions beyond the physical eye. Sometimes it can happen for, this is only me chiming in here. Um, Sometimes it can happen for certain people that you do grab something just a short moment in time, you see something, but usually it's not going to stay um, because it's from another dimension. It may require a lot of energy for someone to project themselves or whatever it is, right? But that's kind of something we will know when we finally get back home on the other side. I'm being
Yes.
funny again, right? So,
Yes.
um, clairvoyance, the ability to receive images, symbols, and energetic impressions beyond the physical eye. It is the flash of insight, the dream that feels more real than waking,
Hmm.
the inner movie that plays when truth is near. Clairvoyance is not fantasy, it's frequency. Everything is energy and frequency. It
Yes.
is the way the universe paints in light. And I think that's the one that's most common that people know about.
Hmm.
Then we have clairaudience, clear hearing. This is the music of the unseen, the whispers of guides, the echo of soul truths, the words that arrive in silence and ring with resonance. Clairaudience is not noise, it's a nuance. It is the sacred sound that pierces illusion and delivers clarity. It is the voice of remembrance. And I actually have a story here. I've heard some things. I don't hear all the time, but I do occasionally I do hear things. But one of my strongest memories of guidance that lasted for 6 weeks. I was given the song Ave Maria, which I
Oh,
love.
I love.
Yeah, but I never really do listen to it, even though I love it. But I had it in my ringing in my head for 6 weeks. And I know that that was the time when, yeah, when Mother Mary wanted to come through with something, right?
Yes.
Um, and my perception of Mother Mary is that um, she acts like a guide, and she's the divine mother of everything, all of
Hmm.
us.
Yes.
So I'm very connected to her, and that was stunning for me, right? So
Yes.
then we have clairsentience, clear feeling. This is the wisdom of the body. the shiver down the spine,
I've been doing that all day.
the warmth in the chest, the heaviness that signals misalignment. Clairsentience is not emotion, it is energetic intelligence. It is the way the body speaks when the soul listens. It is the sacred sensitivity that holds the truth of every moment, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Then we have clear cognizance, and this is stunning too. Clear knowing, when you just know things. And it's not logical at all. You just know that's not going to happen or that's going to be, right? And this is the download, the instant understanding, the truth that arrives without logic but lands with certainty. Claircognizance is not thought, it is transmission. It is the knowing that bypasses the mind and anchors in the field. It is the soul's way of saying yes. And then we have, I can't really pronounce this, I think, Claire, can you say that? Claire Lyons?
No, that's why I'm having you doing the Claires because my tongue gets twisted.
Okay. Claire, Claire Alliance, I think.
Yes.
Well, whatever the word is, and you have to bear with me with how I pronounce things sometimes. It is clear smelling, and this is the scent of memory, the
Yeah.
fragrance of spirit, the aroma that arrives without source but carries meaning. It is the smell of roses when
Oh,
angels are near.
very much. Yes.
It is the smell of something familiar, like someone, a loved one's perfume, or someone were smoking, and you all of a sudden, without logic, you can sense smoke in the air, right?
Yes.
It is the aroma that arrives without source but carries meaning. And I said this. It is the smell of roses when angels are near. I said that too. The scent of a loved one long past. Clara Lives is not imagination, it is invitation. It is the way spirit leaves traces. And it is real, actually. And usually, when you are seeing things or sensing things or smelling things, right, it's because, hey, I'm here.
Yes.
Pay attention. Then we have Claire, Claire Gustance, clear tasting. This is the taste of connection, the flavor of memory, the essence of energy translated through the mouth. It is the sweetness of love, the bitterness of truth, the salt of healing. Sorry. Clairgustance is not physical, it is symbolic. It is the way the soul savors experience. And
Wait.
I think actually most people, I dare to say most of us, have experienced all of these things at least once, probably many times without paying attention. And I
Yes.
have another memory when it comes to taste. I was only 13 years of age. I went to Greece with my mom for the first time in my life. Um, I didn't know much about Greece. When we came back, we went, or before, but I didn't eat this particular thing in Greece actually. But we went to a small Greek shop in the center of Stockholm, in a marketplace, and we bought something. They make it from sesame seeds. It's called halva in Greek,
Uh-huh.
and it's yummy. And had never had that before in my entire life. But when I tasted it, it evoked so many memories, so
Yes.
many memories. Yes.
Yes. And I'm thinking of one that we don't have written down. Um, but we all, unbeknownst to us, we use these things, we just don't have names for them. And if somebody uses them more, then that's when we start putting a name to it, or going, wow, why am I a little different? Because you're a little more sensitive to it. But we all have that ability to sense a presence. You can be sitting doing something, and all of a sudden you feel like somebody's watching you, and you turn around and you look. And a lot of times they are, or somebody is coming. And that is also one of the clairs. The clairs are just the heightened ability to use what we already have and to
Yes.
openly say, yes, I'm glad you're there helping me. Because I know through my healing work, there's been times that I've been working with someone, and I'll start sensing there again. I'll have a faint smell of iron or something, and then the clairvoyance comes in, and then maybe I get a picture of what's going on, or maybe then it becomes translated through the knowing. And through this, I am able to pick up the energies that this person is emitting and be able to at least let them start thinking about some of these things that may be occurring. And I do not diagnose, but I listen to my guides, I listen to myself, and I trust. And when this starts happening, learning to trust is a big thing.
Yeah. And a way of, because even if we have a lot of fine words, nice words, terminology, right? And we have all our senses. It's a very personal, unique experience for everybody, how
Absolutely.
you experience all of these good things. And there are more clairs than we actually said here, right? And as Corinne said, uh, there are there are ways of how you experience things. You could also call it, when you experience these things, that it's a part of guidance
Yes.
from your higher self, from divine source, from, you just name it. Or sometimes a loved one actually comes through, and I've seen them. I used to do radio um, with Sue, that I called my soul sister, right? Just
Yes.
like you. And she passed away 2023, 21st of March, and she picked the day, didn't she? Um, Spring equinox, right?
Yes.
And just 2, 3 days after, I actually saw her, and we never actually we knew each other for 7, 8, 9 years or something. We interacted on a daily basis, very often, and I never went to the US to meet her, and she never came to Sweden. But I saw her standing in my living room with her hands on her waist, and she said, "That's BS, Sissy." She called me Sissy. And I said, "That's her, definitely her."
Yes. Yes.
Uh, she was also very sensitive. But we can have those flashes of things when we feel that something is off, or just knowing. Trust your knowing,
Hmm.
and don't think too much about it, because what happens is that we get something, right? We get a vision, we have a smell or a taste, or we see something, someone, we sense that there's a spirit or an entity or whatever close by. And then we start thinking,
Uh-huh.
and then we kind of complicate things. It's the
Yes.
first impression you get.
Yes.
Trust.
And we, because we are evolving into our higher potential, and I think all of the shows that we have been lucky to be able to have this conversation, I think of this as a conversation between you and I, and hopefully everybody around is going, yeah, maybe I can take a little bit of this. But it has been a gradual reckoning of stepping into your authentic self, having the self-love, meditation, um, observing things that we may not observe, like uh, perception versus perspective, and things like this. These are thought-provoking. These are ways of saying, step into who you really are. Step
Yes,
into the dynamics of the uniqueness of you.
yeah,
And I think on Christmas, our gift is the gift of you, and I'm looking forward to that because
yes,
we are so incredibly amazing. And I mean, every human comes in with that potential. And when we allow everyone to reach that potential, we will have so much more
yeah.
to bring to the world. And I think it's just,
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm getting chills again.
I love it. And you rock. We have someone here. I just want to ask. We have Stephen and we have Hippie Gypsy here.
Welcome.
Um, welcome both of you. And I see we have a few others watching as well. So Hippie Gypsy says, I had a dream of the love of my life. We were in each other's arms. As I woke up, it seemed as though he evaporated into me. It was so beautiful to me. He didn't want to leave, but had to. Yeah,
Yes,
that
yes.
that was a beautiful dream. What do
It
you
was,
get about that, Miss Corinne?
well, as we talk about energy, energy never disappears. And that feeling that you had, and I love to tell people that love is not an emotion, it is a frequency. And that means that that frequency is always with you. It may not be in the form that you're used to, but you will always carry that frequency. And that's the beauty of energy.
Exactly. Plus, I want to say something else when it comes to dreams. Um, I have those kinds of dreams, vivid dreams, as we call them, right? And it is my perception, of course, how this works. But we do travel while we are asleep,
Oh,
and we
yes.
travel into, yeah, into other dimensions, and we even meet people sometimes. Our loved ones, we could meet guys, we can meet other entities. Um, you know when you do that, and it's a cherished sign from them, right? But it's not only them coming; we are also. So I actually believe in us. We leave the body. It sounds maybe weird, but a lot of people are talking about this these days, and it's not something we need to be afraid of, right? It's
No.
something natural. It's as natural as when we go to the kitchen to grab a glass of water, right?
Yes. And I've had the blessing of being able to be on the other side. And it's just another existence, and it's beautiful. I'm telling you, it's hard to come back here because then you have to do the nitty gritty. But as the traveling, um, I know that I am an interdimensional being, and I'm always in another dimension doing something, and especially when I'm meditating or when I'm sleeping. And I'm not privy to that particular information, but I know that I'm very, very busy, and it's wonderful. But being able to connect by finding your self love, by finding yourself, by releasing all of the shoulds and shouldn'ts that life has given us lovingly. They were given to protect us in that person's perception. But we now know that they're heavy. I'm working with a young lady, and the burdens that she's carrying, I actually found this beautiful, colorful bag, and I filled it with rocks. And when she came for coaching, I said, I want you to hold that. And she says, it's heavy. And I said, yeah. I said, but you hang on to that because that's everything that you're hanging on to right now. And I gave her a visual of what it's like carrying our guilt and our sorrow and our worry and our we should have and we didn't and we're not worthy enough. And
Yeah,
it does get heavy. And hopefully we are letting people know that it's okay to step out of that cocoon and become the great, beautiful entity that you are.
exactly. And hippie gypsy, sorry for my pronouncement,
That's okay.
says, I just assumed he made it to that heavenly place everyone talks about, finally ascending. Yeah, he is there. He's
Yes,
where he's supposed to be. He's there.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. And it is. I believe me, I know. I've been there. And when I talk about it, if I have tears, it's only because I couldn't stay. It's like, okay, I'll go back. I'll do what I have to do. And let me tell you, it was not a near death experience. It wasn't. It was an awakening, opening the door and stepping into the other side. And it was so brilliant that if you saw that light with your human eyes, you would be blinded. That's why the silver lining on the clouds reminds me of that, but it's 1,000 times more. And the peace and the serenity and the ecstasy that you feel, there is nothing on earth that can compare to that because it is so pure and unfiltered. And but that energy is given to us through the energy of the ones that are there, and just hug it, thank it, and you know,
Yes.
yes,
And one more thing here. And Hippie Gypsy says, sometimes I talk in my sleep, I'm told. So when I have dreams of talking to someone that wakes me up. Yeah, but when you know those dreams, and I think that we astral travel or travel to other dimensions while we're asleep much more than we do realize. I think it's something we do frequently,
yes,
and we do have encounters. And sometimes we do remember them, but if we uh, don't worry about it. And
exactly,
yeah, he had a heart attack in his sleep actually, and he was alone. Yeah, but he's fine where he is, so don't think about that. I know that's me telling you that, but
yes,
my experience from when we cross over to the other side is that we find peace. We are finally coming back home.
yes,
And we are the ones still walking the earth here that probably has the more pain for
and
it.
there's a lot of times, especially when somebody is knows that it is their time, that they feel obligated to stay and not leave the people around, so they find a time when nobody's around. A beautiful song was written, Softly I Will Leave You. And it was written by a man who was making his transition, but everybody kept coming in, hang in there, Dad, we love you, da 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 da. And he was ready to leave. His soul said, I've done everything I need to do. And so he found a time when the nurses were on shift change to leave. And we have to honor that this is the decision between the person, even if it's something that, and I hate to say we have a lot of violence in the world, but even when that's taken, at a very instant, I think that the soul realizes that it is going to depart. And we have to honor that that has been the time when it was time for them to restart. And I know when my son made his transition, yes, he was 11 years old, and yes, it was not timely, but he knew when it was time for him to leave. And he's the one that, after he passed, and I went into the room where he was going to be when I brought him back home, and that's when I stepped in the light. And he came walking to me and he says, Mom, heaven is everything and more, and I'm really happy. Now you go out and be happy too. And, and I'm going, but I want to stay because I don't want to go back, And how did I know that 20 years later, I was to bring in another child that has just brightened this world immensely? So we, I'm not saying that it's something like, okay, now tomorrow I'm going to, make my transition. It's not like that. But the soul communication is with the soul. And so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He died on the day my granddaughter was born. Yeah. It is emotional for us, and one day we are going to meet up again. I know that for a
Yes.
fact.
Yes.
When we go back home.
But that
Some
love,
of us are,
that love is always around us. Yeah.
Some of us are stubborn and won't leave, right? Like me.
I know. Yes.
Yeah.
But
And thank you too. When Hippie Gypsy says it was so bittersweet. I don't
yes.
talk about this very often, ladies. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for revealing that to us. Thank you.
Yes, because the beauty of having the sixth sense to know when to speak to someone and when to as you were a little bit vulnerable, but there are people like us and that are there to assist people in this journey, and we're available to be able to listen and to be able to wrap our emotional love around you and allow you to find what you need for your journey.
Yes, exactly. So
Yes.
we usually end with putting Miss Corrine here in the hot spot.
Oh, I was wondering why my buns were getting warm.
So I think it's time for your 5 questions, and these questions are not just for you or me, right? These questions are for everybody to ponder about when it comes to today's topic, awakening the sixth sense, a journey into psychic sensitivity. So here goes the first one.
Whoa. Okay.
When did you first notice your intuitive abilities, and how did you begin to trust them?
That's a very you go in so deep for these questions. They don't seem like much on the paper, but boy, you really think about that. I think I have always used them, but I never had words for them. And I really, honestly, because I am comfortable with them, I unlike you, I cannot remember exactly when. Let me think here. I can't really say when I started noticing them. However, 40 years, 50 years ago, I started noticing that I might be in a store or something, and then I would just kind of go like this. I'd be leaning up against something. Thank goodness nobody drug me off to the the EMTs or anything like that. But a normal person would go, "Oh, I'm having blackouts. Go to the doctor and find out why." And I just said, "Well, that was interesting." And I think that is when I was being downloaded, and everything that I had had all my life was kind of coming to be aware of these things now. So I guess that would be when I started realizing that I really was different. And I'm
Yeah.
sure there are many, many times when I look back in my how I handled things throughout my marriage, and I had uh, the feeling that if my husband left one job and went to another job, and I remember sitting with him and saying, "This will be the beginning of the end," not even knowing where those words were coming from, and it turned out that it was.
Yeah.
Uh, his job kind of went downhill after that. Within 2 years, we were divorced and everything else, but there was just the words just came out, and little things like that probably happened very often through my life, but I was so busy in the clamor and the clutter that I just assumed that that was natural.
Yes.
So so how was your first time? Come on, Anne, tell us all about
Yes.
it.
I think I said it. I'm going to make it short because I already stated it. I was 4 or 5 years
Yeah.
old, and I did encounter, and I remember this so clearly. It's like we lived in an old apartment in Stockholm, in the center of Stockholm. And I woke up earlier than my mom, and I wanted to go from the bedroom down the hall into the kitchen to grab a glass of water or something, right? And the living room was opposite of the kitchen. So I looked, I never grabbed that glass of water because I ran back into the bedroom and I locked the door. And I told my mom when she woke up a couple of hours later, um, I said, "Mom, there's an old lady sleeping on our couch." She said, "There's no one there." And I remember I can still have the vision. I can still see
Yes.
the thing I saw. And many times, because old places have more history, we are
Yes.
maybe more prone to experience things in old places, right? That's my first conscious memory.
Yeah.
So, what does psychic sensitivity feel like in your body, mind, or emotions? Ah,
It feels so um, so light and energetic, and um, now that I am living this life, I wonder how I ever survived before I had it. And it's like as we were talking, all of the chills coming down. It was like an affirmation. Yes, this is a true thing, and I really wonder how I move through life not being aware of it, but so grateful that it was. And unlike you, I think as a child I was seeing things, but it scared me, so I kind of shut that off, and so I don't actually see them. I feel the presence and everything else, but as I've said to my ET friends, I said, "Come on, guys, I know you're there, but if you want to show me, you show me like not like all of a sudden, because I will have a visceral, "Wah!" Even though that's not what I meant." Uh, One of my friends who is Octarian, and I had asked her in the next time that she leaves Earth, could I go with her? And her question was, uh, would I be able to leave? And I said yes, because I live a very detached experience. I love everything I'm around. I'm very uh, with it, but I'm not attached to it. And she said, well, how would you respond if you see uh, beings that don't look like you? And I said, well, I've been trained, carefully trained, to fear anything that doesn't look like me. So I'll probably have a experience, but I will have love, and I will, embrace the new experience. But as I said, I've been trained to see if something looked different than me, that was to be fearful. But that was a training. And I said, I'll get over it. So, beam me up, Scotty, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, psychic sensitivity, it can be, I don't very often feel it in a challenging manner, but you can get, and I experienced something very, but that's maybe, like when we are picking up things, when someone has a pain somewhere, I can pick that up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
or,
Yeah.
a cough or a headache or, things of that nature or weird sensations. But having chills, that's very common. So when I have the chills, I know that the energy around something that I'm saying or doing, or someone else is saying or doing, is
Hmm.
very, very accurate. It's strong.
Yes.
So it's something, when we dig into this area, we get to know how this works for us, because it's always, even if it's something we have um, words for, specific words, it's always unique for everyone, right?
Hmm.
Always.
Yes.
Next question.
Okay.
How can we distinguish between intuition and fear or ego?
Ah, boy, you really put some thought into these, don't you? Okay. From my perspective, intuition is something that flows easily, and it is uh, given in very gentle waves, I might say, and it kind of guides me. Uh, Fear, because I've moved to a place where I don't use fear as an indication of things, but ego. When I was in ego, it was it was almost a forced situation. It was almost I have to. It was like I'm going to do it irregardless of what happens. It was there was no feeling of warmth or compassion around it. It was more like going and forcing myself and my ideas on things. Um, that's the best way that I can describe it.
Yeah, I can try also. This if I'm fear or ego. Fear is when I receive something and I'm too fearful of trying it out, and that rarely happens, to be honest, because I'm kind of too bold sometimes. That's
Yeah,
why I also get a knockout sometimes, right? It happens like for everybody else. I think that I'm not fearful of anything, and that's a big part of this journey. It's beautiful
yes,
because you release the fear. If it comes for a minute or two, and then I just manage it, and I
yeah,
say, okay, go away. Intuition, that's that gut feeling, the sense that sometimes intuition also means that you can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but something is up, something
correct.
is going. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
And as you have patience, you go with the flow, that thing is going to reveal itself. But if we are going to try to push that thing, we block it.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
Fourth, fourth question. I love this. What daily practices help you stay connected to your sixth sense?
Oh, I'm going to be very, um, off the cuff here. Waking up in the morning, and just literally embracing my day with gratitude. Um, I'm always in meditation, whether it's when I have my weekly meditation group here, and that is the focus of doing that. But I can be in that meditative mind all the time, and when I am in that quietness of my own self, that's when I become very aware of all of the senses around me. And I know that these are just really who I really am. And 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 uh, and I feel very privileged to be able to have this auric field out there that is guiding me and gently guiding me. And I have been told everybody has an auric field around them, and it expands maybe 2 or 3 feet normally. I have been told that my auric field reaches out over 45 feet. So and I thought, okay, well, that's interesting. I'm gonna play with that. And this is where your six senses live.
Oh,
And after my teacher had been revealing these things to me, I thought, well, I'm going to try this. And I went to a dance, and my friend was waiting. It was a singles dance, and I saw her sitting over in the distance, and I was going to walk to her. I wasn't going to do anything, and I wasn't going to be projecting, and I wasn't going to, I was just going to be me. And as I walked in, all of the men that had been, they weren't standing around the wall, but they were standing around the dance floor, okay, which one am I going to dance with next, and doing their evaluation. And I started to walk through this group, and they literally separated like the Red Sea. And they kind of turned their head and looked, and I'm going, well, that's interesting. And I went and I sat down, and eventually someone came over and asked me to dance. And instead of holding me real tight to kind of cop a feel, so to speak, as they do, when you're in a single dance, he's holding me way out and we're dancing. And he says, "You're a very powerful woman. Did you know that?" And I said simply, "Does that bother you?" And he goes, "No." But he never asked me to dance again. So when I'm in that sixth sense, and when I live in that sixth sense, it is out in my auric field. That's where I'm picking up the information that I get. And I guess if I got up one day and it wasn't there, I would feel very lonely. you know.
you know, sometimes people say, well, I lost my connection, or I lost my senses, or I lost my ability. No, we cannot lose them. We cannot,
No.
because we have them naturally, but they can be dimmed for certain reasons, like we are putting on layers of stuff on top of them. Yeah, that
Yes.
can happen, but
Yeah.
we are never ever disconnected.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't mean to get into that, but it was
No, 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 no.
that's a true story.
That's fantastic. And I jump to the next one. How do psychic gifts evolve over time, and what signs show that they are expanding?
With me personally, I find that when it is easier to to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish by really giving my knowing that this is me speaking to me. This is my soul speaking to my soul, and listening. It's not a struggle, and it's like, okay, now we have your attention. We can really bring you to the potential that you are. And I find that when something is becoming more available to me, there is an ease that I have, and I am able to touch more souls when I allow them to expand to their fullest. And we're all this perfectly imperfect creation that is evolving daily. And I can remember many, many years ago, my teachers saying to me, several of them, if you ever realized who you really were, it would boggle your mind. And I was fearful of that because I didn't know exactly what that meant. And I also didn't want to come out and say, look, here I am to save the world. So but as something grows and evolves, and I'm going, well, that hasn't made me into a green-eyed monster. That has allowed me to be of greater love and help to humanity. So I'm embracing them, and they're very subtle, but they're always expanding. Thank goodness.
Yeah, they are. And because for me, growing your psychic gifts, I mean tapping into them, finding them, remembering them, right? Relearning them. It's walking the same path as when you do your self work, because when you work on yourself, you dig into that diamond that sits deep within you, the essence of who you are. And when you are reconnecting with your own essence, your psychic gifts are growing, right?
Mhm. Yes,
They just grow.
yes.
And sometimes on that journey it can feel uncomfortable, but it's
Oh,
a part
yes.
of the journey. And you just sit there and you say, why me? And you have a pity party, maybe, right? And then you come out of that place, and you can see that you are expanding and you get more energy. But there's no way around that thing for me. But everybody can grow their psychic gifts and their senses, but it's for me that's equal also with the self-work and self-love.
Yes. And you, as we have mentioned before, you absolutely have to have your spiritual hygiene.
Yes.
You have to, I don't care where you are on this line, being consciously aware of taking care of your psychic, I mean, your spiritual being is as important as you said, washing your hair, brushing your teeth.
It is. And there are many ways of doing that. We're going to talk about that on another show, and we can make actually a whole show about that.
Yeah. We could.
So, are we ready to wrap it up a little bit?
I think so, my dear.
So, find all past episodes and even upcoming at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past. Our next upcoming show here with Cosmic Sisters and the wonderful Corinne Mooney and myself is going to be next Wednesday. We always go live on Wednesday. Next Wednesday, November 26th, with Cosmic Sisters, and we talk about color, canvas, and consciousness.
Wow.
What art teaches us about ourselves. That's going to be interesting, to be
Whoa.
honest.
Yeah.
And again, you can find upcoming and past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming-past and youtube.com/@angelplaceonearth/streams. And you can find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians. And we currently have two series, the Four Agreements and the Celestial Prophecy. If you haven't seen any one of those, go and watch. It's fascinating.
Yes.
And as I mentioned, we go live every Wednesday in US and Europe and every Thursday in Australia, our future. What can we do?
Yes.
So we end with a beautiful affirmation. And the affirmation goes, I trust the quiet wisdom within me. My intuition is clear, my path is sacred, and I walk it with grace.
Yes. Beautiful.
And thank you. And we say, thank you for sharing this sacred space with us. You subscribed. Thank you, Hippie Gypsy. As you return to your world, may your inner knowing guide you, your heart stays open, and your sixth sense awakens more fully with each breath. You are not alone on this journey. Your soul speaks, and the universe listens. Until we meet again, stay radiant, stay intuitive, and stay true to your light with infinite love, peace, and joy. And you can say the last part, Miss Corinne.
We see you. We hear you. We honor you. We love you. And we appreciate you. And thank you.
Thank you. I'm just going to wrap up. So maybe it's easier to say this to Hippie Gypsy. So we have no Cosmic Sisters on our other channel. We are called Cosmic Guardians, but we are actually on Angel Place on Earth. So we have a section on that place. We are also on Facebook at facebook.com/Cosmic Guardians. And we call the show with Miss Corinne and myself for Cosmic Sis-Stars.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And you subscribed. I'm so happy. And we are happy you're here. That's why we
Thank
do this. It's a passion of ours.
Yes. And we have you with us next week in live living person, and hopefully peace surrounds you.
Yeah, peace around you. And I love to do this. And we
Yes.
say we see you, we hear you, we honor you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.